Okay, I'm calling the Open Space Committee meeting to order, and it's Tuesday, July 8th, 2 p.m. We're being videoed, and I'm Sue Perkins, Chair.
Gordon Larrabee, member.
Dick is alternate.
Alternate, yeah. Dick Skinner.
Becky Gallagher, Secretary.
Lisa Mosinski, Vice Chair.
Okay. All right. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
Yes.
No. You're not voting on them anyway, okay.
I can't vote on him anyway.
All right.
Shall we have enough?
Yeah. All right. Any corrections or changes anyone can see? Seeing none, I accept the minutes from June 10th.
I move that we accept them.
Okay. Thank you. All in favor?
Did you have I'll second.
Second.
Yeah.
Everything in backwards. All right. All right, first, the budget.
And I forgot to bring the markers with me. I was gonna grab them. They're still sitting on the washing machine.
The what?
The markers that I got.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Good. Well, we're not gonna use them today anyway.
This is true.
Did we have minutes from June 16?
No, we don't have
Okay.
minutes from June 16. From the, yeah,
We have June 1st and June 10th.
Oh, yeah. I
What
just
they
wanted to
are.
make sure.
16th, you, Becky, and I got together and talked about the grant.
Okay, right.
Oh, I didn't write up anything for that.
You know, we didn't get, we had made some determinations, but we,
Mhm.
like I said,
Didn't
that's
write
a
a
short
grant.
little one.
We didn't write a grant.
Right, no, we did not. We realized that we wouldn't that time.
So what did you approve? Because
Okay. The June 10th.
it's June 1st.
No, it was June 10th and
June
June
10th.
16th.
Oh, well, what about?
These were the minutes that you sent.
Yes, for June 10th. But I also sent out the June 1st for the workday party.
Right.
Somebody to write up.
Oh, I see. I never even saw any minutes that came in. It must have been a later attachment that I didn't.
So we're gonna have to move those to
June 1st
next meeting.
and June 16.
Well, this is
Is that a
4
report?
sentences and pictures.
Mhm.
You want to just pass it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's
we
get
can
that
do that.
taken care of now.
Yeah.
But June 16, you said there were,
Yeah, I did not write anything up about that or send anything out.
Okay. I'll do it next time.
no, she didn't have anything, so
We can't approve it.
there's nothing to approve. Just take it off the agenda.
Okay.
Mhm.
Great. I'm good with that.
Thank you for sending along the pictures, Gordon.
Mhm.
Thank you for sending along the pictures.
Oh, so did we do any publicity on this?
Not yet.
Do you still want to, or?
I think it would be good. You know, the bench was just put in, so, you know, we could take a picture, we have pictures of that to include.
Yeah,
We can post something
Picture of the
to-
of the signs and
Covers.
Maybe a picture of, yeah, or
Good
the
bench.
newspaper or Diane Douglas.
Well, I think both.
both.
Yeah. But one of the pictures with, in the Tribune would be great.
Yeah.
Pictures in the what?
In the
Trib.
Tribune.
Trim.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll probably only take one picture, but, I mean, pick the best one, that or the bench, and
Mhm.
I can help you write it up.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from June 1st.
Mhm.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we're done with that one.
So I should make a copy of that, so I can give it to, or do you want to just send both of them?
You can send both of them,
Okay.
email them.
Okay. All right. The budget, we have $300 again for the year. So I assume that everything that we did went through for last year. I know that she asked, whose charges are whose, and some of them were mine, and I just said Becky's, and we'll figure it out later or whatever, so.
So that 184 is gone, or?
We could not combine it, she would not budge on combining that with our budget,
So
so.
if we find something that costs 184, we can use it, or?
No, it's gone.
It's
It's
gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you said there was $300 in the budget as of the 1st of July.
Right.
Are we allowed to add to that?
I'm not sure.
Personal donations, you mean? Donations?
In the form of bottles and cans, yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. You'll have to ask.
well, we did it before, but for the CPA.
Yeah, that was.
No, we don't have to do it, we just do it over time. And
So,
I think that would be having to set up a separate account again, like we did for
Hmm.
the CPA.
CPA, like Friends of Open Space account or something.
Hmm.
I think, it doesn't have to happen today, but I think we need to have a discussion about how the budget works, how we can access more money, like,
Mhm.
why don't we have more money?
Because they said we never asked for more money. That was what the response was.
And I thought, well, I'm not going
Yeah.
into that last year's situation, but we need to say what we want, how it's gonna be spent, and then get it into the budget for annual town meeting.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Kathy. Because
Yeah. Got lost.
I'm sure as you saw with the park grant, this is not, bottle and can change. This is serious money, and it needs a match, and it needs to be scheduled far in advance because
So before a town meeting, so, how long, we have to get it into the warrant on a town meeting, which the next one will be in the fall, or?
if you wanted a separate line for a specific,
We'd have to have
Grant.
a project, though, set up
Yes.
to get the grant.
yes.
Right.
So if it's, the thing is, you have to look at the time frame and the horizon and say, if this was approved for the FY, which will then be 27 budget, that starts in June of 26. If that's approved for that budget, are you able to apply and get approval for a park grant that then coincides with that?
Mhm.
Because the state drives those grants to close, or not the grant, it drives the projects to close by the end of their fiscal year, which is June 30th in most cases. They operate on the fiscal year and they operate on a calendar year. So if you don't have a match set up to work to close on June 30th, to finish your project with a match, you lose the money. But maybe we should set up a separate, meeting or something and maybe do it on Zoom with one of the administrators to better explain how they work. I don't know.
Yeah, I
The
sort of,
admins, or who's supposed to, to replace Matt?
No,
MB.
no, I mean admin at the state level, so they can explain how their system works. And here, we need to get it either a special on the November warrant, which is usually the cleanup and special items, or May annual town meeting.
Hmm.
So when's the cleanup meeting?
Usually in November.
These are all I listed all the grants that are listed in the open space and recreation plan, you know, so there's lots of different ones, but they're not all, you know, geared to what we want to do necessarily, but culvert replacement, municipal assistance, and, you know, because of all the suggestions in the open space plan were a little varied.
But what, 99.9% of those grants are gonna be matching.
Right.
There's almost none anymore that are out and out, write you a check.
So you need the full amount and then get reimbursed after it's done.
Seems like we need two.
T-Mobile hometown grant.
Yep.
Seems like we need two
What's the
or three
deadline?
people on a
Well,
money
they do it
committee.
quarterly. Fall applications open July to September.
Okay.
T-Mobile?
So it's committing up to $25 million through 2026 to support small towns, villages, and territories across America by funding community projects. Small towns with population less than 50,000 are eligible to apply. We're okay with that one. Grants are up to $50K per town.
Okay.
Yeah, selected winners will provide status updates on their projects at 6 to 12 months, and plans must be able to be executed within 12 months of receiving funds. We're looking for elected officials, town managers, and employees, tribal leaders, or nonprofit organizations to submit a proposal. And then I printed out what they were looking for, but this is what I want to talk to, I don't know who Matt's replaced.
John Charbonneau, yeah.
How we go about this stuff. Because somebody from the town here has got to fill this out.
Did, and I apologize for missing that grant meeting, but did you identify like what else you need for a proposal?
For that grant, we were looking, there was a lot of supporting stuff, and then we had a lot of questions for John.
And he was called into a meeting with
Yeah.
Matt.
So,
So we were looking for, Sue was gonna go through the open space plan and page and number of everything that, I forgot to bring that paperwork with me when we started filling it out. Page and numbers of anything that applied to the Keven property.
right,
I was going through the Heritage Corridor plans
yep.
and writing, getting all the same thing there. That this is targeted, or in generally, this is targeted in this plan, is supported.
I'm gonna guess that the T-Mobile does not need the level of detail that the state's requiring, because T-Mobile from state to state doesn't know, you know, what the Commonwealth's open space and recreation plans are,
Right, they
blah,
would
blah,
have
blah.
to do a lot of work just to research themselves.
So I was just curious if you could discern if there is any gap we should look at now, and then,
Okay, what should I submit during the application process? A full proposal should be 3 to 5 pages.
okay,
Describe the scope of work to be completed using the requested funds. Shovel-ready plans, including site maps, architectural drawings, and photos may be included.
we have that, right?
Yeah. You'll be asked to describe the need, how this grant will help the community overcome a challenge, and who specifically will benefit from this project. Explain how impact will be measured. I'm not sure how that will be, but demonstrating how the project will lead to anticipated results change. Outline the budget. If it exceeds 15, well, we don't have to, we're not exceeding 50,000. And work completed within 12 months of award. Please explain exactly what the grant will cover. Matching funds are not required.
Ooh,
Is that AARP?
No, T-Mobile.
Sounds very much like AARP.
To ensure timelines are met, you need to provide details on permits needed, obtained, if applicable, plus list additional businesses or partners to be contracted for the work. Up to 5 letters of support from local government and/or community organizations, partners, or members demonstrating community alignment, engagement, and consensus for the project. So it's not a huge requirement.
So I think we should sketch it out, basically, and then take it to John and say, what do we do next? Because we have almost everything there. The permits, we need help on what permits, conservation? Do we need anything else? Probably not.
Nothing from conservation, because there's no wetlands involved.
Okay, so nothing, all
And there
right.
was no permit needed for the driveway. We thought we did, but we don't. I mean, for the parking area.
But we can say that in the,
Mhm.
to make sure they understand that we,
Are all set with that?
We
Yeah, no,
checked
we
out-
go
permits
Right.
required.
Right.
I've got the drawing that Margaret made up of the parking area and stuff like that, then I got whatever
and we should
the
include
Conservation Works printed
signage
up.
and everything.
Yeah, yes, we should include
Mhm.
signage.
Yeah, I mean, if it's up to 50, we can
Yep.
put a couple more extras in there.
So I'm just, if we can draft it
Yep.
and then move it forward, because if we expect person, an employee to do it, they're overextended. If we do it and take it to them and say, this is 90% done,
Dot the i's and cross the
Right.
t's.
and who needs to sign it?
Yeah.
Because it will be, I think Matt Wojak
Has to be-
as the final, he signs contracts.
This has to be submitted online.
Yep,
It's not a paper version.
cool. Okay.
So I figure that will give us some time.
Should we,
Yeah.
do you want to make a couple copies
Yeah.
for everybody and we can, or,
One's two-sided, and, because it was 3 pages, sorry.
Yeah, we can do that after.
can we make it here or can we?
I don't know, I haven't used this one.
Oh.
Okay, we'll do it after.
Let me try.
No. Let's,
Put it down here and I'll put it in front of the next one.
May
thank you,
I-
Becky.
Yeah, right.
May I suggest that we assign a name or names to that work?
To that what?
Assign a name or names to the work that needs to be done.
T-Mobile grant.
Yeah.
Yes, there's the title.
But
Who are the names?
You mean who's working on it?
Yeah.
all of us,
Whoever can make it.
I'll do it. I'll put my name up.
Okay.
Are you looking for someone to lead it or?
I'm suggesting that if you don't put a name with it, it's going off in the wind.
So should we set up a time to get together and look at it in a?
I've
in this
got
kind
all of
environment?
the details at home, so I can pull that all together. It's ideas for who is this going to benefit, community engagement, and all that stuff that we need.
Yeah.
All our heads together.
Yes,
and-
and
We
put
did
on
some of
that.
though at that meeting. on
Previous
July.
one, yeah.
But there's all, an open space. The open space plan has some of that.
Yep.
But it's easier if we sit together and brainstorm about that. Okay.
Yeah, so you pull what you want together and then we'll get together. Vicky will-
No, but we should set a date because, I mean, I'm sorry, I missed the
No,
last
that's fine.
meeting and I was worthless.
I even brought my calendar.
And I forgot it.
Want to use mine?
Your mind? I'll take it.
How much time do you need, Becky, to pull your stuff together?
It's not going to take long to pull out I figure a map of what we've done with the existing trails, the proposed connections. So a map of all of that to show what we'll be able to access. in our further plans down the road
Mhm.
for that, so this is what it's tying into. Then the information from Conservation Works, I'll have to go through that paperwork again to see what would be applicable that we could throw in there, plus and then the map of that Margaret drew up for the parking lot. Or drawing, draft drawing.
What about the sign? I could look into getting a sign made,
Yeah, we will definitely, I mean, we want something that's,
like all the others.
exactly.
But also, well, because we have to look at the fine print and see if T-Mobile wants to be recognized on that sign, if they're the people who contribute to the,
Oh, yeah, this may be
Right.
possible, I would
Yeah.
definitely throw that in there on the sign. Only keeping conservation property then down in the corner someplace.
Great.
This made possible because of,
yeah, the generosity of,
yep.
And with the gratitude of, it's your turn.
and the spitballing of the Open Space Committee. How about the 22nd? Well, a week from today is really jammed up for me.
I can do the 22nd.
Our usual time?
Sure.
Kathy, can you do that?
Yep.
Thank you, Becky.
7/22.
So at 2.
Mm.
Okay. All right, next, open space and recreation plan extension to 10 years. So I looked it over and, basically, I had, I took everything that was, you know, I changed a few things, but I took everything that was 1 to 2 years, 1 year, and made it 2 years. 1 to 2 years became 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years became 4 years. 2 to 6 became 5 to 6 because that was the one about the CPA. 2 to 4 years became 5 to 6, 3 to 4 is 6 to 7, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 6 to 7 is 9 to 10, and ongoing is ongoing. So, now I'll look at it and just say exactly what things have been, and then I wrote about what we had done in the last 2 years.
But is this what Melissa suggests?
Right.
Okay.
She was very friendly on the phone when I talked to her, and she was, just
Great.
get it in by then, but, so, yeah, I mean, we, pushed for the CPA and lost. We targeted 2 conservation areas and what we did at each one, and got the latitude and longitude, looked at grants, and have plans to hit the next rounds, and contacted other town departments about items that they needed to do in the action plan, so I'll tweak it a little more and
Do you need help with that, or?
I mean, if anyone wants to look at it as well, but it's just so much
No, I mean
easier
just
to.
writing it up.
Yeah, if you wanna look at the letter, I could get together with you and,
No, if you just need it typed up or whatever.
oh,
so you
okay,
can-
yeah. I'll write up a letter and I'll finish it up and
Okay.
and send it around, and if anybody has any
Mhm.
changes or suggestions.
Nice job.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Mazinski property update in Sutton Douglas LLC River Access. The house across the street from the Mazinski property, conservation property, is for sale on, to
Sold.
one side, sold.
So,
So I've contacted the Realtor and asked, you know, wouldn't everybody want their land to be marked to see what the boundaries are? And or, you know, maybe the Douglas Sutton LLC should be the one to mark their edge of their property. I mean, when I bought property, I wanted to know what the boundaries were. So he has not gotten back to me yet, but.
So you want to see boundaries on the ground across the street by the river, right?
Basically, the boundary of that property that's across the street and to the left of the river.
Where, on the same road the parking lot is, right?
No.
You're talking about the other dilapidated house on the other
No.
side?
No, on Mumford Street.
If you're coming from here, going out there, before you get to the river, there's a house on the left
Mhm.
that's been for sale.
That's
Like a duplex, I mean, a split level.
yeah.
And I think it's the lot that abuts the river. It's a newer house.
Mhm.
And so you're looking to have,
Their border is our border of the Sutton LLC
what kind of,
that goes over to Conservation, towards Conservation Drive. Connects with that. So,
is it the river or is it,
It's
is
not
there?
the river, it's, yeah, it's, we can show you.
I have to look at it.
Yeah, here you go. It's, so this is, so this is the Mazinski property. This tiny little 20-foot wide path
Mhm.
bordering this property that just sold is the access to Sutton LLC. It's not necessarily the river. This is the river, yeah. It becomes the river and then it goes, and then it actually,
Well, who owns this then?
the person that, it's very strange. There's lots way in the back. Like there's a house here, there's a house here. This is their driveway.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's just along the edge. And then when it gets into the Sutton LLC area, the river does skim the property of one of the properties, but,
And so you saw that it's 21.23 feet
yeah.
wide. And actually it goes into the river for a while.
Right.
So it's this. Yeah.
You're hoping that either the new homeowner or
The
the other
realtor.
place will survey it?
I doubt it. At this point, they already sold it. You know, what do they care?
But you're saying you want boundary marks,
Right.
or just? you
Just a
want-
tag and a tree, you know,
Tags,
now
okay.
and then to line up because it's a straight shot.
Except part of it goes through the river.
Right.
Hmm.
That's it. It's over on this side, the skinny little. Skinny little. It's the most narrow next to the other
So
property.
you're talking about here, not Manchester.
Right. This is where we go in
Right.
to walk, and this is the river, and this is, this first one, well, it's this one, because this is the house,
Right.
and this is a 20-foot wide piece. 135-1-2. Or 135-12.
Looks to me like they spent a lot of time doing
Oh,
the
I see
map
that.
until they got to that section of the map, and then they said, oh, time for a break. It's done.
Yeah.
Well, you know, if they're supposed to be giving us a piece of property from a big development, then they did a pretty bad job of, and that's, I did send a letter to the planning board and copied the Conservation Commission that we want to be in on those decisions and,
So in this case, what would you recommend? Because in fact, there are 2 abutting lots. What else are they gonna do?
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not,
Right, I don't know how they ended up with that tiny little slice to the,
I don't,
To the
we'd have
road
to
either.
do some research.
see who owned it before, huh?
I don't know, but, I mean, if you've got, that could have been mill property or something, because if you've got lots already laid out on both sides, it's not like you can say, oh, we're gonna take a couple of feet on each
Right,
side. You're
right.
stuck. This is the channel you have, so, but to your point, where did they get that?
Right. They whittle it off of, yeah. And interestingly, this, we've made contact with the guy that has the no trespassing on, and he was very friendly, and he would take a sign and put it up, or he already has one, he says, but, what was I getting at? I forget.
Previous owner was Tammy Reno Sklar.
Is the person that
The
owns,
previous owner,
oh, really?
according to,
Interesting. What's the name? Tammy Liska.
Reno, R-E-N-A-D, Sklar, according to.
That sounds like a realtor, which maybe that's who sold the whole piece
Mhm.
of Sutton Douglas. And so that's why they gave it to the town. But now it belongs to the town, does it say?
Little, belongs to Sutton Douglas Development.
Okay.
Or wasn't updated yet.
Yeah. So. But, you know, I guess we can see where that goes. Could always tube down there.
Maybe we could ask Sutton Douglas LLC to survey it.
Right, would be the next,
But for what?
so we could know where the
Mhm.
trail
Survey it
was.
and mark it. So at least we know what the bounds are.
Okay.
Or the new owners.
We should probably be able to find them. Because those houses aren't that old.
Yeah. Pretty weirdly configured.
No.
There could be existing stuff out there already.
Right. It should be.
And there's nothing going on Duval Road or anything.
Well, I haven't been able to get out there, but I know you're all doing work on the Mozinski property, and I just want to say thank you for all that hard work.
Dick
And
lives over there. With his chainsaw.
yeah,
Gordon's got the Canada lilies up over by the bridge. That would be a good
Beautiful.
picture to
They're
take.
aren't they? Yeah.
I saw one at the Green River where I was.
Just as pretty as you could be,
Yeah.
just sitting
Mhm.
there all by themselves.
Yeah.
There's
Happy.
great natural native plants.
Yeah. Did Dick ask you about what around the base of the back of the bench maybe?
I've got a bunch of suggestions.
To keep the dirt in place under the bench.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Yeah, you want me to read the letter I sent to the planning board? That's big.
Is it about the access?
Yeah. In recent years, the Open Space Committee has been involved in opening up conservation areas in Douglas, making them accessible to residents. We understand that when a property is donated or sold, you may have little to say as to the location. Of the 7 conservation areas, only 2 are accessible. The Leon Mazinski area and the Mary Lynn Doobie area. The others, Tinkerville Brook, U Street, Mikowski Drive accesses, are all densely vegetated wetlands. The Keevan property access is blocked with boulders, presumably from nearby cellar holes, and the newest, Sutton Douglas LLC, is the Mumford River. What we would like to be is to be included in the discussion and review of the future regarding access to conservation areas. Thank you for your consideration.
Sounds good.
Very good. Yep.
So next, the park grant. I didn't contact Will Talbot, but, so we'll work on the next grant and keep that one in the future. It was good to talk about it, just to get it off the ground, though.
Yep, we know what we need to pull together for
Yeah.
them.
Okay, conservation, we did planning board letter, okay. Conservation Drive, sign and donations. We were talking about donations earlier, Lisa.
Mhm.
So, we'll have money in the budget. See how much this sign comes to that we're working on.
I guess my recommendation for Conservation Drive is that we should work on a small plan, but even if it's phased, that says, you know, do we put parking there or not, and then talk about any interpretive cultural landscape type of signage that we'd like to see, and anything else, so that when things do come, grants do come up, we're not, you know, scrambling just to meet. But it could use a small, I don't know, I'm gonna call it a plan,
Yeah.
project plan, something.
Yep.
Yeah, when I pointed out the neighbors on Mumford Street, that was because I remembered, I was telling him about the weird canals and stuff like that that are around. He goes, oh, I have them on my property.
Mhm.
Stone banks on one side, and so it would be interesting to,
Yeah, if we could figure out what that was, that'd be,
yeah, good historical
to put
information.
signage up for that, definitely.
Yeah.
Some of it, I don't know, Sutton might have some interesting information, historical society or something. Because some of that feeds into,
Mm-hmm.
eventually gets to the.
Yeah, 'cause I think there was something from Stevens Pond
Yeah.
that came that way.
You can't really see it so much on the
I'd love-
topographic maps.
Maybe
But-
a LiDAR. LiDAR would be, and I would love to see a bridge put back where there was a bridge on that piece of
Yeah.
property. So if we could get from there across, then we've got a chance to get over into it's a Douglas LLC
Mhm.
property to do some trails.
See where we get in there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what we definitely should ask Douglas Sutton LLC to put, you know, boundaries up so we know where these properties are.
Mhm.
Well, this is now our municipal property, so we could put up bound markers, just GPSing the points.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless you had really accurate GPS, like the Trumbull units and stuff like that.
Right, but just to give people an idea of where, you're not gonna say that it's a surveyed bound, you're just saying that it's a conservation area bound type of thing.
And then we could know we're within those bounds, like keep away from where those markers are or whatever, you know, unless you necessarily have to.
Yeah, it's
We
just-
should, we should ask
Need to
LLC if they
come
did,
right up to the
if they
house.
did.
If they had to
We
know
should
where all
ask
the-
them if they did,
Right, but why bother?
check all the
'cause if they
bounds
had
and
to
see if it's
carve it
marked.
out and say this is the piece we're giving, it must,
No, that was, now we got two different,
oh, Conservation Drive, right.
yeah.
Right.
Conser-
Conservation
still must
Drive
be-
truck crosses over
Right,
into the Douglas.
right, but they're two different owners. They work,
I know, but if the Douglas LLC, the Sutton
right,
Development
if
thing,
they,
if they had marked their bounds when they did this whole project,
which you would think they would,
yeah, so that's what we just need to
We could
ask.
get at
Right.
least that.
yep.
Okay, you want me to write a letter to them to see?
Sure,
Yes, okay.
I would ask.
Actually, we have that in the files.
If they surveyed it, oh, it would have to be the plans. They had
Yeah.
to have submitted all the plans.
Exactly. We got
Do
that
the
already.
plans show there's bounds on it? Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to.
Jen should be able to give us show us where the plans are, and we should be able to look at those.
And then just use the GPS from there.
Yeah, well, you can, so on the
Yes.
plan,
It's
right,
basic.
it has a rod or something at that point.
Yeah, well, yeah, if there's a piece of rebar or a drill hole in a
disc or a
stone.
drill hole, yeah.
Yeah, to see, yeah, that's a good idea.
And then you can make a photocopy of like that section, and then we can go on and say, okay, here's, at the stone wall, whatever corner, there should be a drill hole. And then the next one might be a rebar or whatever like that, but
Mhm.
we've already got that info actually on file.
They may have found the corners, but we don't have the, find it
Right.
straight away.
It should be on the plan though.
Yeah, it depends on, yeah, if it's stone walls or whatever that they happen to follow, like stone walls are easy.
Yeah,
Well, we'll find out.
exactly.
Good idea.
Sue, what's the donations part of number 8?
Oh, because Conservation Drive, you said signs and donations.
Yeah, well, Lisa had mentioned donations before for another meeting, so that's why I included it.
Well, my idea there was if we had money left over from the purchasing bench A, we should purchase bench B with that money, and then bench B could go live somewhere out there, because we were looking for a spot. That was just my concept at the time.
But we can't because the money's gone, right?
Yeah.
So does the Recreation Commission's money go back if it's not
Yeah,
spent?
everybody's does.
Everybody's goes back, okay. Just curious.
So it's on the agenda somewhere. Oh, number 10. If you don't spend your budget, it goes back to the general fund. And then it's reconciled with what the town did spend and what's left over. So what's left over is then
Free cash?
certified, and that's called free cash. It's not free. We all paid for it through our taxes, but it is no longer committed,
by the
encumbered,
allocation.
exactly. So that's when everybody gets all excited, like just before town meeting and everything. They're like, oh, and we got this in free cash, which is just unencumbered money.
Yeah,
That-
that was already there.
Yeah. From how many years beyond me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But everybody loves to get a piece of that pie.
All right, trail work. So, yeah, Becky was gonna. You were
I
gonna
haven't
come up-
scheduled anything yet.
Okay, yeah. So-
Too hot.
Yeah,
Yes, very hot.
Too buggy.
Kind of figured.
yeah, too many deer flies.
Ticks are having a wonderful year.
Yeah, I do want to get something scheduled though.
How do you deal with ticks and horses?
Spray and pick them off.
That's a lot of territory to view.
Yeah, pick up your arm, you know, it's a leg, yeah.
There's, you learn over the years, there's certain areas you find where the ticks end up.
All right.
It's not like in the middle of the body end of the sapper or on the romper. It's like they'll crawl up the legs. They'll be on the armpit area
Yeah, that's
or
what I was
behind in the
thinking.
or on the mane.
Someplace
by the
warm
tail.
in the ear.
Yeah. No, never up that far.
No, they don't make it.
The tragic animal with ticks is actually the moose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
main,
They don't rub them off. I guess ticks don't drown because they're in the water.
Mhm.
But like out in, where is it, Michigan or Minnesota, the infant mortality of moose calves is
Just to go
unbelievable.
from ticks too. That would
They're just sucked
Yep.
dry.
You know that Massachusetts doesn't test ticks anymore?
It's assumed
Yeah.
that they carry something.
You just say, okay, you got a tick. Take it off.
Yeah, in some places they have like salt licks that are treated
Yeah.
with medical stuff that will kill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some of the ones.
Speaking of ticks and speaking of trail work, Mazinski Properties filled Japanese barberry,
Yeah,
which is a tick incubator,
You know why?
because the root of the crown stays warm, and it's also a place for field mice to hide. So,
No predators.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
The mice and all that.
But if we get rid of the
Yeah.
Japanese barberry, and I want to go get a team and go out there and just rip up everyone we can. Just a thought.
Cool. So there could be funds for that too. I don't know if they're for municipal, but for private owners, there's sometimes funds for invasives. And barberry, near waterways, it's just, it just takes off so badly.
That's on Mazinski, you said, right?
Yep. There's significant amounts on our normal trail, but that other trail that goes off this way,
Down
To the right, to the river?
it goes up. Yeah, this is coming in, and then off here, there's a loop
Oh,
that
yeah,
comes
that
up
loop,
here.
yep. Mhm.
There's a whole field of them in there. I
Oh,
mean, huge.
There are no, at the moment, there are no trails marked leading off like that. There's
Yeah.
one that's leading off from the same short path that goes to the bench.
It's going this way.
That's this line right here.
Yeah, all right,
Same place.
so up in here, there's a whole field of them.
Mhm.
I saw them last year, I haven't seen them this
you
year.
can walk across the river now pretty easily. It's down.
Yeah, if you don't slip and fall and sit in the water,
But just add that to trail work, that's something. that-
which I did and lost my cell phone.
You lost your cell phone?
It
Fell
went
in the river, I
dead.
watched.
DED, dead. Won't even open up. So everything that was on there, all my contacts, gone. People can't call me, I can't call them.
He was about to walk
Painful.
across the river. I'm like, I'm not even gonna watch. So I didn't actually see him go in because I was turned the other way. I didn't want to see it.
Did you give it the rice treatment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Mhm.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see. We'll get to the trail work times when cooler.
When the weather breaks. Go shortly.
Now, Keven property, number 10. So we'll start working on that for the grant.
We have a plan.
Yep. And PR for the Mozinski Conservation Property.
Yeah.
Talked about.
Let me hand this out.
And where is John Charbonneau?
You'll
I
like
did
it
remind
something
him, not recently, but maybe he went to the meeting yesterday that was in here. We will contact him when we want to sit down and look at stuff.
Well, I think you have to just say, we're meeting at this date, you're on the agenda, come in. I mean,
Yeah.
and if we have questions, fine. If we'll make a list of questions and get more information and, because,
So the intent of this was to go with a picture to the newspapers. My vision is, I think we're at a point in time right now that monthly we can send something to the newspaper that is PR for this group. I think we're at that point because a number of things are happening. The bench is unusual, I would think.
This look familiar.
Pretty much the same as that. There may be a couple of wordsmithing issues.
yeah, I would just put donated conservation.
And I think we need to do something every month
No, I
with a
agree.
picture.
Join us.
And then,
Yeah.
but next time we ask money in the form of CPA, maybe we'll get it.
Yeah, start getting him really realizing what,
Yeah, this needs some
Yeah.
tweaking here.
Tweak. Everything I do is a draft until it's gone.
Like your phone.
Yeah, here's a draft, all right.
I thought we were just not speaking.
I couldn't tell anybody unless I saw them face to face. I mean, it's just.
Can we play with this at home and email it to you?
What's that?
Can we play with this at home and email?
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Just remember, there should be another one next month, and one after that, so we don't have to do it all at one time.
So if we bring it to the meeting, then we can wordsmith it, then after each meeting, it goes out to,
Yeah, with a picture is nice.
absolutely.
Look at the pictures. Gordon's been good with the
Yeah.
taking pictures and sending them along.
We could even have a Bardberry party or something, because people don't know that.
Right.
I would think it would be nice to invite the selectmen out to see how that Lozinski property is shaping up. I think we're at a point that they could say, oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm glad you did all the work, Dick. That's
no,
what they're gonna say.
it's a we project.
No, I know. Just kidding.
We don't all do the same
I
thing.
just follow him around with my cell phone in case he falls
I
down.
did the holes for the signs.
I
And
know.
you poured the cement, mixed and poured.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was quick set
Oh, really?
until it's set, and
Yeah.
I said, oh, this really was quick set.
We got it done though before it's set.
It'd been nicer if it wasn't. We could have finished it up better.
Well,
But
it's
anyway.
okay.
Yeah, we left and came back and it was set. Not almost set.
So you didn't put the year in the cement, huh? You get right in.
We didn't get an oven in there, maybe a couple bugs and some dirt.
A leaf or two.
A leaf or two, yeah. That's good. Yeah, no, it's sturdy, it's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Dick's working on a bird bath design, which I'm like, there's the river. Why do they
Exactly.
need a bird
I think we
bath?
need a bird bath.
Leave it as natural as possible.
Yes, exactly.
Open space. They don't,
It'll look natural.
but they have the river. They have all sorts of little depressions and everything for water.
Mhm. Exactly.
I don't know.
Start tampering with that, you're gonna have to keep it up.
Mhm.
That's the
Yeah.
problem. Alright, okay, wanna look
12.
through all of Dick's little thingies?
That's new business?
Yeah, I guess,
Are you finished with your agenda?
I think so. Unless anybody has anything else to add?
You've seen this by now. I think one of these in a larger format and with more detail, with longitude and latitude on most of the points. And this could be a 2x2 format, which is a good sized chunk of paper.
2x2
So what are you
format.
looking at this for? Are you looking at this for a map on a kiosk?
Yeah. It's a map. It's a map.
That look better?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's keeping that,
but that can be done if it
That
hasn't
is
for
Leon
Mazinski.
Mazinski.
okay.
So I can, so the bench is what, someone's around here, I can add a bench
Wedding
sign right
trail.
there?
Yep.
It was probably a little bit further down.
So this is there are two marked off here. One is 600 feet away from here. The other one is 1,000 plus 1,200 feet from here.
So why are those marked off? I don't understand why.
Why what?
What? So this is the water, so are you planning on making
Yes.
another trail on,
And this,
Um,
where's the water?
right here?
You know, on that side of it, yeah. Going to a point where, I don't know whether you've seen that already or not, but there are boulders from 600-700 feet,
It's probably another
making it
canal.
very difficult to walk, isn't it?
It's like another canal that's in there.
Another what?
Canal from the river, probably.
Maybe.
I mean, why is all, banked, the hill banked on the left side with rock
Yeah.
boulders?
Yeah, so this is the
I think it was
whole,
something else. I think it was like more recent for logging or
Mhm.
some other thing.
Yeah,
I
the
don't think it
layout,
was-
the layout of the land doesn't seem to lend itself to it ever having been a canal. It just, the boulders are random, and they're all over the place.
Yeah, there's that section of ankle breakers in there.
Yeah, and when you get around the corner and get where we were doing the flag test, trying to find out where it was, it looks like a wall that's there. And that looks like might have been a part of a canal, but on the other side of it, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody was having a dream, I don't know.
And by the parking area, they pushed in, and they did those house lots up above it. But I think there was something else being, I don't know.
Yeah. But that's Frank's property that we're next to. He's over here.
so questions, since we're on this.
Hang on one second, before I forget this thing again. The river's here, and it's on this side,
Yep.
and if you come to here, this is the boulder piece, really rugged country. Walking is very difficult. But this point here and this point here are actually, they're quite close here, but you can't see it. It's wicked dense. I had Stu go out there with a 10-foot pole with a flag on the top of it and wave it to it, trying to see where it came out. Couldn't see it. But I took the latitude and longitude this morning,
Mhm.
and they are close together.
Yeah, it's not that far, it's just dense.
Okay. So you want a map for the kiosk?
I think that makes sense for people who want to go out on a hike on a trail.
All right, so, a couple things here we need to figure out on. The trail should be named,
Yes.
and figuring out the color code to mark them.
Yep.
Because if you make a map, you would want to make the map to
Mhm.
correspond with what is out there. So I know this one here with the benches, that's Riverwalk, that could be the little Riverwalk right there.
And it could be Riverwalk South. On the other side of it could be Riverwalk North. The other side of the river. The trail is
Left
here,
bank,
but it
right
isn't down
bank.
there. I'm sorry?
Left bank, right bank. We were classy, like in Paris.
Rive gauche.
Yes, oui, oui.
They're actually swimming in the sun.
The what?
Oh, they must be
They
so
spent
hot.
$1.2 billion or something to get the Seine clean enough for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So now they
Yeah.
have like 3 pools along,
Mhm.
marked off, so people can actually swim in the river again.
And then they had a heavy rainstorm and
Al went away.
polluted it.
Mhm.
So you want to call it the Right Bank Riverwalk?
No.
He's already got it
That
labeled
would be the
here.
left hand.
Depends which way
What's
you're
the number
looking
5?
at it.
It's the wedding trail. Now, where did that come from? Are you getting married?
That's the one you walk through that's overhead. I just picked the name out of the hat.
That's the Laurel.
Have you been over here
The
yet?
dead end trail.
Is this
That's the
trail?
Mountain Laurel, isn't it?
Mhm.
All right,
On
you
that
No,
can
there's
get
side.
Mount Laurel.
But it is a dead-end trail, and is it worth
it where it's
the
what?
work to keep it open for a trail like that, a short dead-end trail? I'm just throwing that out.
Okay, let's go back to the ones we know are existing.
Right.
So how do we want to do,
Maybe
do
got
we
the
want
big
to do
map.
this loop trail as one with access from either end?
Yeah, to the brook or through, across the bridge and,
Oh.
yeah.
The current loop trail should be
I would do it.
considered one name.
Yeah.
Right.
That's one
Right.
trail, like that.
The purple trail.
Yeah.
This,
I know that's what she said.
this,
And then you can just have, you know, I mean, there's another loop out
Another,
here.
another loop, so it's like the Riverwalk, Swamp Walk. Give me the-
Lily Trail.
well, that's this one.
But there were two.
Well, maybe you want to call the whole thing the Lily Loop, I don't know.
I just called it original
But they're
trail.
only there for 1 month,
Yeah.
less than a month.
But there were two markers here that someone has put flags.
I did.
Yep.
The thing is,
And
they are marked
and this one's very
currently,
close to
that tree
here,
is
so
marked
I
with
wouldn't
the
take any-
yellow
I wouldn't-
salamanders.
Move
Yeah.
that one,
So
but this one I
call
would
it-
Conservation.
and
Call it
bring
the
it around
salamander trail.
over here.
They don't have any more of
And this
those,
is
so
set up
if
so
there's-
that you can
if it's
continue it.
incomplete, then it's
Yellow
yellow
diamond.
paint.
Yellow diamond trail.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my vision of the world. But I agree we should name the trails, and the trails should be distinctively named. You notice what I did on some of these, they call it MOS.
But
Animal what?
it's the colors that people are going to, when they're walking, they're going to be looking for colors. So you name it the red trail, and I see the red, I know I'm on the red trail. I don't know that I'm on the river trail or the Riverwalk trail or the washed out river trail
Mountain Laurel Trail.
or the Mountain Laurel trail. I see a yellow sign, I said, I'm on the yellow trail.
And I
The
ran it,
yellow diamond, the yellow
Yep,
bar.
could do that too. All right, so what have I got for the 4 colors
lost
for the
it here
markers I've
somewhere.
got?
Yellow?
I ran across
I
this
have
cheap
yellow.
signs.
Blue, red, and I think I have green.
Yeah, and I have spray paint of all those.
Hmm?
I have spray paint for each
All
one
those.
of those.
So do you want to do the Riverwalk in red? Be that the-
Well, there's already yellow
Should be-
signs there.
should be
with
blue.
Salamander.
Riverwalk should be blue.
That's on this one, main trail, the main loop, that's the salamander with the yellow diamond trail.
Yeah.
This new trail out here can be the Riverwalk trail.
So
And
like
it could be
salamander?
whatever
The little
color.
loop,
The Riverwalk extension.
Trail, yellow.
I'd say save the colors for the big main trails and then have little fiddly diddly things off the side, like a Riverwalk loop or whatever.
Yeah, actually, Main Trail is marked with the salamander things,
Right.
Yeah.
so we don't have to worry about that.
Right, and we
So
can
what do
call
you
it the
call that?
Yellow Diamond Trail.
I'd like to
What's
see
with the
the
diamonds?
global,
Well, it's the shape of a,
I'd like to see the global positioning
shape like
data.
that, or
No,
the
it's
circle,
circle.
it's
Circle.
a
Yeah.
yellow circle trail.
Or just the yellow trail.
But you
Yeah.
could then
Yeah.
have a yellow diamond trail that's, goes off in a different, there's a different
Yep,
loop off the
gotcha.
main trail, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah, yellow circle
But the different shapes can be different loops.
is the main trail, okay.
All right.
Then the little one we just did on the left with the bench.
How do we feel about GPS numbers on major points on the trail?
Nobody
So
really uses
pushing
them.
it, yeah.
Too
Yes.
much?
It's too small. Yeah,
Mhm.
nobody will use them. Yeah.
So Riverwalk, make that one red.
The one to the left we just did?
Yes, with the bench.
Bench. Red.
And the other loop, what do you want to make that one? Green or blue?
The one on the other side of the river?
No, this one, the new one that we've got to clear out.
Oh, yeah, the one that we, yeah, that I didn't know, yeah.
The upper loop.
Yep. What, green for that?
And if you want,
What'd you say?
I said green or blue.
I'd say
This one I don't know.
that's
Because
one we
haven't-
didn't
we
do.
have- That's when we got
haven't done
scheduled
that.
trail workday yet
Oh,
to
I
open
see.
that up.
Okay.
I'd say
It
save the
comes
blue
this
for
way.
the other side of the river if we're gonna do a little river thing. So make that one green.
Okay. So you can actually come in from the other road, so you've got
All right.
Loop to Manchon.
two access areas to hit the loop, so I would probably still call that part of the main trail on either side.
Oh, I see what, yeah. I forgot about that little loop on the side.
I think we
So
should
we'll
put
make-
distances on there too.
No. Because you can see the, on the map,
On the
We could
map.
put a scale on the map.
it's a
We don't
small.
even, I will
North arrow, scale.
tell, so I could, if I do the yellow loop, the Salamander Trail, that would include this, the looping around, plus out to the road.
Yeah.
The whole yellow trail, I can put whatever that is. The Riverwalk, I can put that length on the,
Mhm.
on the, what do they call it, legend. And then the little blue loop, I can put the
Backside.
legend.
So blue is gonna be on the north side of the river.
No, you want,
And the green was gonna be that little.
you want the green for that little, all right, we'll make that green. There. That works.
Okay. And,
Thank you.
colors and names, yep, all right. So the name will be the color and the color is the name. Okay, what else does Dick have here? Parking signs. Cheap is our name. So we want these for what, Dick? Signs.
Well, I think you propose, are these names that you proposed for signs? What is this? For
Gonna put 'em-
information,
Information on the
map?
on the map. No, on the trail.
So, if they're at the kiosk, they can take a picture of the map.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I don't know if we need to add all
I've
this
never
other
seen
stuff.
these on any place, any trails anywhere,
No.
state, federal, whatever. So, I don't think, you know, they go, if they get to difficulty, then they'll turn around and try another trail or something like that. You know, we could spray paint every route you have to cross over, you know, but get in trouble for it,
All
but
right.
thanks for thinking of it. What, so these are just
Suggestions.
suggestions, it sounds. We can keep it, but, you know, if we need it later, we'll have it.
Yeah.
I'll keep it. So we plan on getting together.
I was thinking of putting those next to a trail, where the trail breaks off. And that was-
These here?
Yeah, not that wording, but that's this, those things. Put them beside the trail.
Trip hazards.
We have agreed to forego that.
Good idea. Walk at your own risk.
Yeah. Bring your cell phone in case you fall. I mean, I
Put
don't.
on the map where the bridge is, that little bridge is right there, then I can put it here, the water crossing, no bridge. Someday we would like a bridge there, but for right now, they can't. So you said the water's down far enough to cross it?
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's slimy rocks, you know, slightly covered, but that's about it. Basically, you could probably jump from one rock that's above to another rock that's above and right across. At the narrowest point, which the rock, that's why the rocks are probably there, and it makes a great crossing.
Okay.
Well, as it rains a decent amount tonight,
I don't know, they keep saying flood watch, but I don't know
southeast, I think.
where, no,
I think.
we're in
Yeah.
the dark orange area. All right.
No watering today.
Are we good with everything?
Anything else that anyone
So we're
has?
going to take some form of PR, put a picture with it, and send it to the paper.
Yes.
Right.
And Gordon has
So
the
we're gonna work it
pictures.
out, yeah.
Gordon
Send
has the
in
pictures.
The papers you want,
The Tribune.
the names of them, I can find them on the web, right?
Yeah, it's mainly the Tribune,
Which Tribune? What's it
Blackstone
called?
Valley.
Jackson Valley.
and then
New Oxbridge Times.
Yeah.
their deadline is the 15th of every month. Today's the 8th, so.
And there's nothing else in the Trib, so they'll need something to read.
And then is the Express. I always screw up those dates because it's twice a month, but maybe it's the 8th. I'd have to look.
Okay. And I'll put something up tonight on, again, at Douglas, the bench, come sit,
Yeah,
meditate.
it is very nice, actually. I never thought about it, but now that I've tried it, it's. All right, the next meeting, which I was thinking of another time, actually. Look at my agenda.
Is it in August 12th?
Yep.
But, yeah, let's see.
It's open to me.
Actually, the 5th or the 15th was better for me, but. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll be in Vermont on the 12th. Lucky me.
So what do you wanna,
The 5th or the 19th, if we're gonna be, so we scheduled something for the 22nd of this month. So that's really the 22nd, then it's 2 more weeks till the 5th. You wanna do it?
I have
The
a-
5th?
I have another meeting on the 5th.
Any day is really fine for me too. I'm leaving on the 8th and coming back on the 17th.
The week of the 10th is completely open for me.
It's completely closed for me.
You're leaving on the 8th
What month are we in?
of,
August and coming back on the 17th.
August.
Oh, I
and
see.
you're gonna have a meeting of August 12th.
That's why I'm saying it's not good for me.
What about the 19th then?
It works for me.
Yep. Okay.
19. Going once, twice.
Sold. 2 p.m. All right.
And we're meeting somewhere on the 22nd,
Here,
talk about grants,
yes.
Yep.
somewhere.
Here,
Here.
What's that again?
the 22nd at 2,
Yep, I got it.
and the 19th at 2. And if we need to get together and be in between, we can. I can be in Vermont. We can. All righty. Nothing
You
else?
want me to email you all that hometown grant information?
Yes, please.
Oh, that'd be even.
Yeah,
Then-
I'd rather get a paper copy, but,
Yeah, you can copy, whatever, I just,
all right. Anybody else want a paper copy?
No, if you could email it, that would be great.
All right.
I'll do that, I'll email it to you, because that's, if you don't want it, just delete it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.